I think, one of the key questions is, where are all the sort of libertarian conservatives that you hear so much about? I think one of the sort of efforts of the movement in the coming sort of days and couple of weeks is to really try and root out, those conservatives who say they care about civil liberties, and actually get them to speak out on this. I thought it was a really grim irony actually today when the government presented its defence review, wrapped up in all this grandiose language around defending democracy across the world, on the same day as this policing bill has its second reading, which, is almost certainly going to clamp down on our rights to protest. I think there's maybe a legal angle to this, although it shouldn't be the sort of priority. How does this fit in with our right to protest, which it is still enshrined in UK law and in the European Convention on Human Rights? So I think that's something that definitely needs to be looked at. But I definitely agree with Pascal and others that we need to do everything we can to stand up to this using all forms of protest. I mean, yeah, there's parts of this bill which are just downright bizarre. Noise limits on protests. Who monitors that? Where is that tracked from? I think it's also important actually to recognise that there are already quite serious restrictions on our right to protest. Obviously, particularly at the moment during the pandemic. I mean, over the weekend we saw organisers threatened with £10,000 fines for organising an outdoor visual, mourning someone from the community. So I think we also have to recognise the existing limits that there are on free speech and fight back against those as well. I mean, many of us probably on this call will have been at the student protests in 2011 and have been kettled for what's allowed to be an unlimited amount of time. And of course, there's been many other protests where that's happened as well. So I think this should be hopefully part of starting a debate, a conversation about what the ideal looks like, and actually trying to reclaim some of those rights that have been lost over the past decade or so.